When I was in South Jordan, it got really, really cold, and we didn't bike because it was snowy and it was freezing cold. I don't know, probably almost 0-degree temperatures, snow blowing sideways. That was probably the most extreme. I got really good at riding my bike without hands. Repairing flat tires, got really good at that. Learned about slime. It's the stuff you can buy at Walmart. It's like this green gloop that you can pump into your tires, and it has little black chunks in it because there's these sharp pokey seeds all over the ground, especially in Kearns, where it would pop the tires. Every day we'd get popped tires. And the slime acted like blood. It would like clog the hole, and then you could keep riding your bike without having to stop with a flat tire. It was brilliant. We didn't get a lot of crazy food on my mission. One time a member fed us Japanese food. That was pretty crazy, but that was about it. I never felt like any area of my mission was dangerous at all. It was kind of a cush mission, it was very like fluffy, like protected, It's not like some crazy missions. So when I was in Taylorsville, one time we stopped at a snow cone shack on the side of the road, and there was a girl in there serving the snow cones. And I was talking to her just briefly, and she said, "I serve the devil." And I remember it didn't fluster me at all. And I looked her right in the eyes and I said, "He's not going to win." And I remember feeling so full of the Spirit, like so powerful at that moment. And the look on her face was shock and speechless. She didn't have anything to say. But that was an experience that I never forgot. That was always really powerful to me. Planning is so important. I can't stress how important planning is and how much I learned from planning and setting goals. I think that's probably one of the highlights that I picked up out of the entire Preach My Gospel manual and from my mission in general is goal setting, the importance of living your life in accordance to learning how to achieve those goals. Is the biggest life lesson I took away. My favorite spiritual experiences on my mission were when I was teaching strictly from the heart and from the Spirit, I guess you could say. When we weren't really following the structured lesson that you would get from Preach My Gospel, those were my favorite experiences, just really tailoring our lessons to the needs of the people we were teaching. There's several that come to mind. One in particular, occasionally we would have what we would call a pray now, where we'd actually have everybody in the room kneel down and we would each in turn pray and ask for a witness to the things that we'd been teaching, if they were true or not. There was one young man where we did a pray now with him, and everybody took turns praying. It was a very powerful spirit while we were doing this, and he came away feeling strongly that it was true and he was to be baptized. Unfortunately, I left that area and I never got to see him get baptized. It wasn't until a year later where I got a message from a missionary saying, "Did you teach so-and-so?" And I said, "Yeah." And they said, "Well, he's getting baptized, and if you want to come to his baptism, he'd like to have you there." So I got to leave my area and go to his baptism. It wasn't that far away. And after the baptism, we were having kind of a little bit of a testimony meeting in the Relief Society room. And the girlfriend of this young man, she was bearing her testimony of the power of the gospel and how much it meant to her in her life. And in her testimony, she shared the experience of that pray now that we had had with him a year previous. And she said, that experience was so powerful to me and I never forgot the spirit that I felt there. She didn't realize that I was that missionary sitting in the audience, the same one that had done the pray now. She had forgotten me, but she hadn't forgotten that experience. And so that was powerful to me that she remembered that and it had an impact on her, even though she was already a member. That was a sweet moment for me. Being from Florida, I didn't really pack any huge, thick jackets, because I don't know if they even sell those there. So it wasn't actually until I came to Utah that I bought a really big jacket to keep warm for the winter. The winters were pretty brutal and I had to have a lot of warm clothes for the winters, but the summers were nice. I remember one time, because of my mission, from April conference to October general conference, we were allowed to proselyte with just the white shirt. And then from October to April, during the winter months, we had to always have a suit on when we were proselyting all the time. And there was one time, it was just after April conference, and we were like so excited for it to be warm out that we were like, just went out with just the white shirts, and it happened to snow that day. So we were walking home in the snow with just our white shirts on, like icicles hanging down from our nose. We finally got home and we were so cold. So we probably weren't prepared very much for that day. Definitely important to bring the proper clothes for the weather.